Hello everyone, this is Jenny with Balanced Bodies Westside, and if you're watching from YouTube, welcome to another Macro Monday. I also have Facebook going here as well, and today I am going to be answering some of your frequently asked questions. My Macro Monday videos for the past little while have been all about answering your frequently asked questions. I get questions every day from people who are followers, people who are current clients, people who have weight loss goals themselves, who are wondering about how they can reach their fat loss goals without depriving themselves of foods that they love, which is something I preach all the time. Natalie's watching. Hi, Natalie. She's on Facebook. This Facebook stream's over here, and I've got the YouTube stream here, so I'm going to look back and forth, you guys. I'll do my best to keep it as close as possible, but they are going to be just ever so slightly off. So Natalie is watching today. She is one of my transformation challengers. She did both my January transformation challenge and she's now doing my spring transformation challenge. And she has been extremely successful. One of the things that Natalie dealt with when she was brand new to counting macros is something that I'm hearing echoed today, as I have two brand new clients who started today. I do have new clients start every Monday, so if coaching is something you're interested in, please get in touch with me. I can get you started on a Monday if we have an agreement in plan by Friday. I just need that little bit of time to get yourself set up and get yourself ready. But one of the things that she experienced that I hear quite often is that it feels like a lot of food. And Tammy just logged in as well. Hi, Tammy. She is going to be starting next Monday, so this is something she'll be experiencing too. Society tells us all the time that we need to eat 1,500 calories a day for fat loss, and that's just not the case. 1,500 calories is just some arbitrary number. Of course, if most of us ate 1,500 calories, we would likely lose weight, but the problem is we would be losing weight, not necessarily fat. Weight loss and fat loss are two totally different things. When you lose weight, you're losing water, muscle, and fat. When you lose fat, you're losing primarily fat. That's what we all want, whether we realize it or not. Now, the problem with losing muscle is that is what causes your metabolism to slow down. So with all of my clients, I like them to be losing fat by eating as many calories as possible while still being in a caloric deficit. And this is achieved by counting macros. So counting macros, people wonder all the time, what the heck does that even mean? I'll just sum that up in a nutshell. And if you've been watching me for a while, you probably have heard a lot of this and it's going to ring true and you're going to find it quite familiar. Macros are just what makes up the food that we eat. So every single food that we eat is comprised of macronutrients and micronutrients. Micronutrients are just our vitamins, our minerals, fiber, things like that. Whereas macronutrients are carbs, fat, and protein. So I'm going to give you a great example here. If you were to burn 2,500 calories in a day, which is pretty typical for your average female, I'm going to say female, okay? If you were to burn 2,500 calories in a day and you were to consume 2,000 calories in a day, then you would be eating in a deficit. You'd be eating 500 calories a day less than you burn. So society's sitting here telling us that we need to eat 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day to lose fat, but I'm telling you that that's just not the case. Most of us are burning well over 2,000 calories in a day. So there's just no need for us to eat that little while we're dieting. I know that that is a really hard concept to grasp. Everyone thinks less is more and you'll get there quicker the less you eat, but that's just not the case, because what happens when we undereat is we eat away at that muscle, we're losing weight, not just fat, and our metabolism is slowing. So it's just a matter of time before you hit a plateau. Now, most people hit a plateau anyway. I have my transformation challenge clients for 12 weeks at a time. And throughout those 12 weeks, the average person needs at least 1 calorie adjustment. So that means that they do hit a plateau at some point within those 12 weeks. So that's normal and expected, but those plateaus are going to come much quicker if you are eating less food. So if you start off at a diet at about 1,500 calories, you're going to hit a plateau very fast. And what happens when you hit a plateau? There's only one option, and that option is to further cut back your calories. Now, I don't know if anyone watching has experienced eating 1,500 calories in a day, but it's not very enjoyable. I don't know about you, but I really despise being hungry. It doesn't feel good. I go from hungry to hangry very, very, very fast. So I do my best to avoid that feeling, which makes eating at the highest amount of calories while still being in a deficit much more enjoyable. I have got a couple of questions that I have written down here that I've received from new clients over the last couple of days. But if you're watching here on YouTube or if you're watching over here on Facebook, please feel free to write your questions down in the comments, and I would be very happy to answer them for you. Also, if you're watching, if you look down below, there is a little share button. If you're watching on YouTube, I believe the share button is on your left. And if you're watching on Facebook, I believe the share button's right in the middle. If you click on that share button, you can create a watch party. And anyone else who's on your feed who might be interested in this, they can watch as well. So the questions that I have written down today, first off is, how do I determine how many calories are a deficit for me? This one I get quite often. There's a really complicated math equation that takes into consideration your age, your height, your weight, your sex, your activity outside of the gym, and your activity inside of the gym. All of these factors combined are what creates your calories out. So that just determines approximately how many calories out you have in a day. So as long as you eat less than that, you should be losing weight. Now, what is that math calculation? Honestly, most people don't understand how to do it. So I have sort of simplified this. I've shared it quite often on my social media, and I'll continue to share it on my social media so people can calculate their calories out by themselves. The simplified version that I use is just made up of anecdotal evidence from the clients that I have worked with. I'm up over 100 now in the last 4 years. I've worked with more than 100 people, so I've been collecting data for quite some time now, and I have determined that if someone is considered obese, so that goes by your body mass index. I don't always believe in a body mass index. I find it's a flawed way of determining someone's health, but it's a great way to determine your calories out. So if you do fall into the obese category, you can eat between 8 and 9 times your body weight in order to lose fat. So that would be a deficit for you. So let's say you're 5'0" and 200 pounds considers you to be or obese rather, then 8 times 200 or 9 times 200, or you could even go 8.5 times 200. That determines the calories that you should eat in order to be in a deficit. If you are not obese, but maybe you're overweight, you can actually go 10, 11, or 12 times your body weight. This depends on your activity level. So if you are overweight and not very active and not planning to go to the gym quite often, or not planning to work out very often, then I'd probably err on the side of caution and eat closer to 10 times your body weight. But if you are overweight, but you're very active, you could eat 12 times your body weight, and that would still put you in a deficit. Now, if you are somebody who is just slightly overweight, you just want to lose that last little bit of weight, maybe 10 to 20 pounds maximum, then you can probably get away with eating 14 or 15 times your body weight. Once again, you can go right down in the middle as well. You could do 14.5 times your body weight if you wanted to. So these numbers determine your calories out. But once again, counting calories and counting macros are two totally different things. You could eat, let's say you burn 2,500 calories in a day. You could eat 2,000 calories of just carbs and fat, or in other words, junk food. Like when you think of carbs and fat, personally, I think of cupcakes and pizza. Not very much protein, lots of fat, lots of carbs, little fiber. You could eat 2,000 calories a day of quote unquote junk food, or you could eat 2,000 calories a day of a balanced meal where you've got a good amount of protein, a good amount of fiber, and also some carbs and fat, and you would come up with two totally different body compositions. When you focus on protein, you are maintaining your muscle and therefore losing fat, not weight. So it's very important to look at your protein as well. How much protein should you eat? That depends on yourself, that depends on your body, that depends on your goal, but most of us, our goals are fat loss. So I always recommend 1 gram per pound of a healthy body weight for your body. So 1 gram per pound if you are happy with your body weight and maybe just want to get a little bit toned, or if you're overweight or obese, you'll want to go with 1 gram per pound of your goal weight. I don't always love having weight-based goals, but for determining your protein, it's a great, easy way to figure out approximately how much protein you should be eating in a day. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Some of my current clients, they're about 180, maybe 190, and they want to be closer to 160, so their protein goal is 160. And that is fair, I think. Men should have a little bit more protein than women should have. And if you would like to be building muscle, then you might even want to go a little bit ahead of that. So for myself, 1 gram per pound of my body weight. Then when it comes to your carbs and fat, this one is not necessarily a super popular answer, but I don't really care as a coach how much carbs or how much fat somebody eats, as long as they eat in a deficit, as long as they hit their protein goal. And for me as a coach, I also make my clients focus on their fiber. And the reason being, you guys all know, if you've watched me before, if this is not your first time watching one of my videos, you should know that I am a 60-40 girl. I do not care about eating clean. I'm not on a high horse about eating clean one bit. I like to preach balance. I think that it's important that you have fun foods and healthy foods. So by focusing on your fiber, you're ensuring that you're eating a decent amount of healthy foods, because fiber only comes from healthy foods, fruits, vegetables, beans, whole grains, things like that. I just noticed a whole bunch of people walked in here, so I want to see who we've got. I've got YouTube over here, but I'm looking at Facebook right now. Natalie's in here, Tammy's in here, Andrew's in here, Ryan's in here, Sabrina's in here, Jesse's in here, Corey, Bill, Janelle, Jason, Terry Lynn, lots of guys watching. Thank you guys so much for showing up. It is my Macro Monday, and rather than recording a video and posting it on YouTube, I decided to do this live today because I've got quite a few new clients recently. Of course, summer's coming and everyone wants to get working on their summer bodies. So I've had some new people start today. I had one new girl start last Monday, and I've got another one starting next Monday. You guys can always get in touch with me if you want to get working together, but just know that I do require a 3-month commitment. Nobody put all their excess body fat on overnight, so you can't expect it to come off overnight. And what I do is teach you how to lose fat without depriving yourself of foods that you love. So I'm teaching you how to look at your food in a different way. That's not something that comes overnight. It's a very eye-opening experience. Most of us really have no idea what it is that we are eating. I can't tell you how many times I hear people say, "Hey, Jenny, I had no idea that candy was carbs." Yep, candy is carbs. Or even worse, I had no idea that vegetables were carbs. Yes, vegetables are carbs, people. So everyone who's on the I hate carbs train, come on. You can't be against vegetables. We all know that vegetables are good for you. So get off that high horse. There's nothing superior about eating low carb. It just means that you're probably miserable. Unless you hate carbs, which is very rare, but I guess it's a possibility. I'm going to move on to the next question. I have made a video about this before, but it did come up in a question, so I thought I would share it because if someone else is asking me, chances are other people are curious as well. What about water? How much water should I actually be drinking in a day? And is it okay if I count my coffee towards water? So this one's funny because I used to think that coffee didn't count towards water. I used to really thoroughly believe that, but I have a very open mind and I love learning. So I was super happy that I read a lot of studies and was able to change my mind. Marie and Maria are in here as well. Hello, ladies. Happy check-in day. Both of you did fabulous. So fabulous. Terry Lynn, you did great too, as did you, Natalie. Lots of clients watching today. I'm so glad that I can be talking to you guys at the same time as talking to some of my followers. And if you're watching and you have a question, please type that in the comments and I will be super happy to answer for you as well. Back to the water. How much water should you drink in a day? Well, that's relative. We are all different. And for most of us, we can aim for half of our body weight in ounces. But if you are obese or heavily overweight, that might feel like too much water for you. So it's okay to round down or use a goal weight as a guide. So let's say, for example, your goal weight is 160 pounds, then you're going to want to have, how much is that? 80 ounces of water, 8-ounce glasses, that's 10 glasses a day. So when people say 8 glasses a day, 10 glasses a day, it doesn't matter. Everyone is different. A very super simple guide for determining if you're drinking enough water or if you're hydrated enough. What color is your pee? If your pee is orange or yellow or even just ever so slightly pale yellow, there's probably not enough water. You want your pee to be very yellow, close but not quite clear. Yes, there is such thing as too much water, but definitely stay hydrated, guys. A lot of people get really hung up on the number on the scale, but the thing is, the number on the scale primarily changes due to your hydration, not your body fat. So when you see those fluctuations in the scale, ask yourself, did I drink enough water yesterday? Did I go to the bathroom yesterday? Did I have a lot of sodium yesterday? Alcohol plays a huge role in water retention as well. There's so many different factors that contribute to the number on the scale changing that have nothing to do with weight, but lots to do with hydration. You can eliminate a lot of these fluctuations by making sure that you stay hydrated. The second part of that question was about coffee. Is it okay if my coffee counts towards my water? And my answer to that is yes. Once again, I used to have a different train of thought. I've read lots of studies. The diuretic effect of coffee does not cancel out the hydrating benefit of that liquid that's in the coffee. So go ahead and count your coffee towards your water. I wouldn't count all of my water as coffee. If you really truly are someone who drinks, 8 or 10 cups of coffee a day, I know that sounds crazy, but I also have a husband who works nights every once in a while, and he definitely has lots and lots and lots of coffees on those nights. And a few clients who are watching right now, you guys have done nights, and I know that you guys drink lots of coffee. That's okay. But if you're going to have a night where you have 8 or 10 cups of coffee, try to dilute that a little bit with some water. I know that's kind of a contradicting answer. I don't mind if you count coffee towards your water, but not all coffee should be counted towards water, if that makes sense. Natalie loves her coffee. I love it too. And we got a couple new people in here. Amanda's watching and Dan's watching. Thank you guys so much for coming in and joining. If you are up for it, there's a little share button down at the bottom. If you click on share and then create a watch party, then people in your circle can watch this bad boy as well. I've talked a little bit about macros, how to calculate your calories, how to calculate your macros, how much water you should eat. The next question that was asked was, if I have extra calories left over at the end of the day, should I eat them, or is it okay to not eat them? So this came from a client of mine. If you're not a client of mine and you have your goal and one day you decide to undereat, obviously there's nothing that I can do about that, so you go ahead. For my clients who are watching, it's a little bit of a different story. For my clients who are watching, I do want you guys to eat your calories every week. I said earlier that less is not always more. If you're eating too little, then you do risk burning through your muscle. And I never want my clients to burn through their muscle because that will contribute to your metabolism slowing down. People have all sorts of myths about their metabolism that I hear them all the time. Oh, I have a slow metabolism. I can't do that. My metabolism's slow. Oh, well, this slows my metabolism. Actually, this speeds my metabolism up. Guys, that's all bullshit, okay? That's all bullshit. There's lots of factors that contribute to your metabolism, but the quickest one is your muscle. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest. The less muscle you have, the less calories you burn at rest. So we want to be preserving our muscle while we're losing fat so that we do not slow down our metabolism. So for my clients who are watching, if you have extra calories left over at the end of the day, eat them up. And if you don't eat them today, today's Monday, save them for the weekend. I look at your average over the course of the week. I think that is most important. The day-to-day really doesn't have a huge effect on our long-term goals, but if you look at the average of the week, that's a much more accurate way of looking at the whole thing and determining on whether or not you're in a deficit. A lot of people I know, they'll eat clean throughout the week and then they'll ruin their progress on the weekend. Myself, I purposefully undereat a little bit throughout the week. I always hit my protein and fiber every day, but I'll save some carbs and fats Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday I'll have a bigger dinner. Saturday I might have a few drinks. I'm still in a deficit at the end of the week, but rather than looking at the day-to-day and stressing about that, I just looked at the overall week, and that makes a big difference. Natalie's saying she loves her coffee. Tammy's saying, I like to put flavor in my water. I totally agree, Tammy. There are so many ways to make water enjoyable if you're having a hard time hitting your water. I like Mio. It's a calorie-free sweetener. And if you're not big on aspartame, I understand aspartame isn't as bad as most people think that it is. But if you really, truly don't want to take aspartame, there are lots of stevia flavored ones. I know Crystal Light makes one. There's one called Skinny Girl. There's lots of different options for calorie-free ways to flavor your water to help you get your water goal every day. Once again, half of your weight in ounces. Tammy says, what if I have calories left but have it all other categories? Do I still eat calories and go over the other? So if you still have calories left at the end of the day, the most important thing, did you hit your protein? If you hit your protein, have whatever else you want. Whatever else you want. Let's say, for example, I got to the end of the day and I had 200 calories left over. I already hit my protein. I already hit my fiber. I can eat whatever I want with those 200 calories. I would probably choose peanut butter because I love peanut butter. Like really, 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 really love peanut butter and cashews. Don't ever buy me cashews because I'll eat the whole container. So if you did have calories left over and you already hit your protein, go ahead and have whatever you want, even if it means that you're going over your carbs and under your fat, or vice versa, over your fat and under your carbs. That doesn't matter. I'm pretty damn flexible as a coach. I have had 5 coaches myself, and I definitely think I'm the most flexible of the 5 that I have had, because I don't mind if your day-to-day fluctuates as long as your week averages out. I do think it's important to hit your protein every single day. I also think it's important to hit your fiber every single day. But if your carbs and your fats fall above or below, that's really not going to have a big effect on your long-term goals. I know that society makes us want it, and they make us want it right now, but realistically, nobody put excess body fat on overnight. So it's not going to come off overnight. I think that the 2 most important things that anyone can have in their fat loss journey are patience and consistency. Those do not come easy to most people. They don't come easy to me. I will admit it, absolutely. I am not a patient person. I try my best. I really, really try my best. It's a good thing I'm an online coach because I can take a moment and decompress before I get on a video chat with someone. If I become impatient, I can just take a moment to myself before I go into that conversation. Consistency is something that you can learn. Patience, you either got it or you don't, but consistency is something that you can learn. Having a coach absolutely helped me. I really do think that it helps my clients. If you take one thing and one thing only away from this, it's that, patience and consistency. Just keep trying. It does not matter how many times you hit a speed bump. You could fall off your horse 100 times. As long as you get back that 101, you are going to be golden. Those are the only questions that I had written down today. So if anybody doesn't have any other questions, I think I am going to wrap this up. I would like to do some more of these live Q&As. So if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer in a future video, please send that to me. You can write it in the comments here on YouTube. You can write it in the comments here on Facebook as well, or you can send me a message. Either one is good. If you're not already, please do subscribe to that YouTube channel so that you can get notifications when I do lives like this, and when I post my pre-recorded videos. Macro Mondays I'm always posting, workout Wednesdays. I am doing free live bootcamp classes every Wednesday at 4 p.m. PST. Those will be live on both YouTube and Facebook, and then I'll save the link as a replay in case you can't catch it live. You can still go back and watch it another day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate everyone's support, and I really hope that you found this helpful. Thanks again, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.